Albert, you're up, bud.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come to you yet again to express our thanks and appreciation for allowing us to meet this evening. We ask for your guidance, your direction, and your wisdom as we work our way through the agenda. We thank you for all that you do and all that you will do. In Christ's name's sake that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Albert. Roll call.
Turner.
Here.
Stock.
Here.
Young. Here. Meadows. Here. Cowherd.
Here.
Hurt.
Here.
Gilbert.
Here.
And Venable.
Here. All right, we're all here. It's good to see everybody. Hearing of citizens' comments. If you'd like to get up and make a comment, please feel free to do so. Tell us your name and what ward you're in. Okay, we will pass. Approval of the minutes of the October 18, 2021 council meeting. On pages 4 to 7. Any corrections? Susan?
It's not really a correction, more of a clarification under the unfinished business where I ask if chickens are allowed outside the coop. What I really meant was if your coop's in a fenced-in yard, are the chickens allowed to be in the fenced-in area outside the coop?
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Ms. Mayor,
Yes, sir, Albert?
Just a couple of items. On the page 6, street closing, I thought we decided that was not a street closing, that was actually a parking arrangement, to park on one side of the street. Is that correct? The first
Well,
item?
I'm gonna trust your memory because my memory doesn't compute on that one.
I thought that's what that was.
Okay.
And then on the next item there, I just wanted, again, clarification. Did we vote, was the vote to, yes, indeed, to buy salt, or is it to buy salt from that certain vendor at, Central vendor, I believe? Was that the,
To buy the salt from the vendor.
from that vendor?
Yes.
So this, I guess, should we say that in the minutes here? That the vote was to buy salt from Central, was it Central vendor, I think was the name of the vendor?
What was it, Jeff?
Salt, yeah.
What's that?
Central Salt.
Central Salt, yeah.
That's good clarification.
And then just a minor down at the, under, next to the last paragraph, I think that should be weather. Stated the board discussed
Page,
weather,
page 7?
page 6,
Page 6, okay.
next to the historic preservation.
Oh.
Say it.
Should it be weather, they should,
Oh, yep,
This
I
thing.
gotcha.
instead of rather.
instead of rather,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Albert. Anybody else? Okay, the name will stand as correct. Item 5, consent items. Item A, consider pay request order number 2 from Rad Baker Construction LLC in the amount of $73,638 for Kemper Library parking lot improvements. Do we want to do these as separate motions or as one?
All as one, yeah.
I think we should do one. Everybody clear? Okay. Item B, consider change order number 1 from Rad Baker Construction LLC in the amount of no dollars for Kemper Library parking lot improvements. That's on page 11. Item C, consider pay request order number 2 from Freck Paving Company in the amount of $53,227.86 for asphalt improvements 2021. That's on pages 12 and 13. Any questions or comments?
I make a
Whitney?
motion, we approve these consent items.
You just moved?
That
Yeah,
way-
I couldn't
yeah,
hear
I make
you,
a
I'm
motion
sorry.
that we approve these consent items.
Okay, is there a second? Thanks, Teresa. Questions or comments?
Kate, any surprises on any of this stuff?
No,
What?
it's just old buildings.
Fair enough.
Of which we have several.
Yep.
All right, roll call.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
and Venable.
Yes.
Presentation of accounts and claims on page 8. You're up.
It's in
I know.
order. 13 and then it goes to 8.
Yes, we were just discussing that. I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof, November 1, 2021. The sum of $327,069.33. General fund, $92,823.36. Sanitation, $19,478.49. CIP tax, $5,536.42. Waterworks, $91,657.98. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $75,562.42. Tourism, $4,030.90. Gaming, $4,737.66. Parks and water, $138.40. Kemper sales tax, $33,103.70. And economic development projects, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on their respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $327,069.33, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect to be in force from and after its passage, first reading on November 1, 2021, read for the second time this November 1, 2021, since a copy is made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Thank you, Susan.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make the motion that we pay these accounts.
Thank you. Second? Thanks, Mike. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
and Venable.
Yep.
Item 7, unfinished business. We'll take these items individually. Second reading of bill number 2021-027, authorizing and approving the Ameren MO Missouri Electric and Gas franchise. Motion to approve.
She's got to read the title first.
Go ahead.
An ordinance renewing an existing franchise and granting for a period of 20 years to Union Electric Company, DBA, Ameren, Missouri. A corporation, its successors, and assigns a non-exclusive franchise right, permission, and authority to construct, reconstruct, excavate, for, place, maintain, operate, and use all equipment, facilities, devices, materials, apparatus, or media, including but not limited to ducts, lines, pipes, hoses, cables, culverts, tubes, poles, towers, wires, conduits, conductors, manholes, transformers, underground vaults, switchgear, capacitors, receivers, and transmitters with all necessary or appropriate appurtenances and appliances in connection therewith in, along, across, over, and under the streets, roads, alleys, sidewalks, squares, bridges, and other public places in the city of Boonville, and areas dedicated to the city for public utility use for the purpose of transmitting, furnishing, and distributing electricity and gas within and through said city, prescribing the terms and conditions of such grant, imposing certain obligations upon the grantee, its successors, and assigned successfully in connection therewith.
Question, comments? Motion?
Make a motion
Whitney,
to
thank you.
approve this.
Second?
I'll second.
Multiple choice. Thank you, Andrew.
Second first.
Comments? Roll call.
Very good.
I had a question for you. Does it, can't, is it too late to ask a question?
No, you're okay.
Does that mean that Ameren Uri has to come down if the trees are over their lines, if they have to come and trim the trees up? So
Yeah.
who do we call? Just Ameren Uri, or we call Jeff or somebody?
You can call Jeff or myself, but they usually come through once a year and they do a big tree trimming kind of annually.
Yeah, I see
In, I can't, maybe in October or November even, I can't recall quite yet what time of year it is, but if you have some place for them to look at, just let us know and we'll pass it on to Holly. Or you can email Holly also, the one who was here at the last council meeting.
All right.
Anything else? Roll call.
Turner,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
and Venable.
Yes.
Okay, item B, second reading of bill number 2021-028, authorizing and approving the Ameren, Missouri lighting agreement.
An ordinance providing for the lighting by electricity of the streets, avenues, alleys, and other public places in the city of Boonville, in the state of Missouri, and other electric service requirements of the city by contract, setting forth the terms of the proposed contract between the city and Union Electric Company, DBA Ameren, Missouri, its successors, and assigns and permitting said company to erect, operate, and maintain poles, lines, wires, cables, transformers, and other appliances in the streets and all other public places necessary for and appertinent to the performance of said contract as described herein.
Motion?
Mayor, make a motion, we approve this bill.
Thank you, Whitney. Second? Thank you, Susan. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Turner,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Item C, third reading of bill number 2021-009, approving annexation for Fox Hollow subdivision. It's on page 14. Do we motion to move it back?
Nope,
Nope.
just keep
Okay.
going. Read the title.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, annexation certain contiguous territory owned by Troy Thurman Construction Company, Inc., a Missouri corporation doing business in Cooper County, Missouri, and to the City of Boonville, Missouri, zoning the property as R1 and RA residential as hereafter set out, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Item D, third reading of bill number 2021-010, approving project and preliminary site plan for Fox Hollow subdivision.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the Fox Hollow project and preliminary site plan located at Highway 87 and 98 between Hale Ridge Golf Course and Jesse Vergil Memorial Airport.
I just want to comment that right now we've left all of these ordinances in track changes so you can see the changes we're making to modify the ordinances from when we first read them. when we do get to the point of taking the vote, we'll remove all those. It'll be a clean copy, but I just wanted you guys to see what we've been doing to change it.
What's the timeline we're expecting on the vote?
Well, I'll talk about it at the end, but we'll do it at hopefully a 5th reading, which would be December 6th.
Item 8, new business. First reading of bill number 2021-029, chapter 4, animals and fowl. It's on pages 30 through 42.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, replacing the Code of General Ordinances, City of Boonville, Missouri, Chapter 4, pertaining to animals and fowl for the City of Boonville, Missouri, establishing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Is there a motion?
No motion.
No motion?
No.
Oh, this is first reading, excuse me. Item B, first reading of bill number 2021-030, approving an option for easement agreement with Robinson Real Estate Easement Company, LLC, pages 43 through 54.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an option for easement agreement with Robinson Real Estate Easement Company, LLC, for a digital billboard sign, and in consideration of easement, Robinson Real Estate Easement Company, LLC, shall design and construct a monument sign at Missouri Soccer Park entrance.
Item C, consider resolution R 2021-14, authorizing and approving participation in the Cooper County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's on page 55.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving participation in the Cooper County Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the Cooper County Hazard Mitigation Plan is a multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan prepared in accordance with FEMA requirements at 44 CFR 2016, and whereas the City of Boonville, Missouri participated in the preparation of the Cooper County Hazard Mitigation Plan, and whereas the citizens of the City of Boonville, Missouri have been afforded an opportunity to commit and provide input on the plan and the mitigation actions therein, and whereas the City of Boonville, Missouri has reviewed the plan and affirms that the plan will be updated no less than every 5 years. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council in the City of Boonville, Missouri, adopts Cooper County Hazard Mitigation Plan as its jurisdiction's hazard mitigation plan and resolves to execute the actions in the plan. Passed this first day of November 2021 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Is there a motion?
Is that it, right?
Mike?
We changed the date.
Yeah.
Oh,
it-
okay.
it
We
does-
caught
yeah.
Yep, we caught it.
Yeah, we caught it and we changed it. It should be November 1st, yes.
Mike moves. Whitney, second. Questions, comments?
Can you expand a little bit on it, Kate?
Yeah, Tim is
Yeah,
going to
good point.
expand on it.
Yep.
I actually didn't attend the meetings this year. Bobby did. He lost the clip, so he had to.
Oh, pass it
But,
on. Pass it on.
It's basically, they identify what hazards our biggest ones are, like tornadoes or floods or earthquakes or sinkholes. And then you kind of come up with some ways of mitigating these things when they happen. If you read it in a hard copy, it's in a book about like this, and it encompasses all of Cooper County, and the school districts are all involved, and it all boils down to you participate and sign the resolution if you want any FEMA money. If you do have a tornado or a flood and want to be reimbursed for it, you have to be involved in this plan. Every 5 years, they send somebody up here and spend about 2 months worth of meetings updating it and do it all over again in 5 years, so.
Questions for Tim?
Have we ever had FEMA have we ever had the need for them to reimburse us for any expenses?
Right now, I believe we've got it going on with the Morgan Street
The pipe?
and maybe another one too, I'm
We-
not sure.
9 different ones, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've done, obviously, I mean, going back as far as you want, but we also raised a lift station, or a transformer, on one of our lift stations as a result of flooding. I'm sure if you went all the way back to the 93 flooding, SEMA was probably involved, but it's a 75-25 match, so it's worth.
It's worth a little paperwork for what it happens. Got a motion and a second, we still got some more questions, Barry?
So who decides if what qualifies for FEMA money? Who decides who's qualified for FEMA money, get the FEMA money or whatever? How you decide who gets the FEMA money if you qualify for it? In certain disasters or what?
Yeah, I mean, once all these things happen, and we're dealing with FEMA and SEMA both right now, right? And they're gonna decide at the end whether it's gonna be payable or not. Just kinda depends, but we just gotta get all our ducks in a row and send it to them and hopefully get the money. Is that answering your
Was that your question, Barry?
Yeah.
Yep.
And typically also, Barry, so what happens, to use this rain as an example, Larry Early, who is the emergency management, he said, tell me about your damage. So we went around and did a survey of our damage and we reported it to SEMA. Then SEMA came and visited us, and there's a threshold, and I don't know the threshold offhand, but an amount of damage to warrant a disaster declaration. And then if you get the disaster declaration, then we get to start using the
Right.
SEMA.
And it had to happen in that week period of time.
All right.
When we had the heavy rain.
So when we had a heavy rain back in April or July of last year, then when people's houses got flooded or the basements got flooded,
No, that one didn't count.
that didn't count.
Wasn't big enough rain, I guess.
Wasn't a big enough rain. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All we can do is put it,
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
reports of standing committees. This is item 9. Board of Public Works meeting was canceled. Boonville Housing Authority, Barry?
Yes, I made the meeting and the minutes are in the package right there. And so we're doing really good with the housing authority. Mr. Roy's doing a really good job down there.
Good. Any questions for Barry? Item 10, reports of city officials. A, city administrator. Would
First,
you like to go without being interrupted?
First, I would like for a motion to be made to do the dangerous building hearing now on December 6th at 6:30. Since we didn't quite meet the notice deadlines, and again, just to recap for those earlier, that we are going to post it in the paper, which is sort of the last resort, but that will guarantee us the hearing on the 6th. So we need a motion.
So moved.
All right, got a motion, got a second? Mike, got a second? Questions, comments? Roll call.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
And then, second, starting on page 58, but I gave you a corrected copy at your desk. I put in a memo, we got the engineering estimates back from Crockett Engineering on the participation of Fox Hollow. I sort of outlined the cost and the projected revenue figures. I think most of our discussion will likely occur after the public hearing at the 15th. But I did want to provide this information to you guys now so you guys can look at it. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just so you know, the 2 corrections I made. One, I inadvertently put 316 instead of 216, so that's 100 acres less, so just want to make that clear. And then on page 4 of the memo, which is page 61 in your packet, the 100 homes on that future phase real estate tax collection, that should be 37,400, not the 95,000. So I wanted to correct those two so you have the right numbers. And then the last thing I just wanted to say is when I was compiling this memo, as your administrator, I would say the most important pieces to me were pages 62, which outlines the water, sewer, and sanitation revenue. As we have talked about many times, whether it's a regulatory requirement or an upgrade, the cost of maintaining these utilities is very expensive. And in order to try to insulate ourselves from having to do big increases of 10%, you need more customers. So the way you get more customers is by growth. So for what it's worth, I thought those were the most interesting numbers, or the most helpful numbers for this, maybe is the best described. But anyways, I'm happy to take some questions, but also we'll have an opportunity at the next meeting to discuss it.
Albert,
Well, I appreciate you getting us this information well in advance, and that gives us a chance to crunch the numbers and look it over. There's one question that I'm not sure of, the square feet on the homes. Is that ever, I don't think I've ever heard that number. Do we know the square feet?
We're looking at 1,500 square foot minimum on slab homes, 1,500 square foot minimum.
15, okay.
So that could be, it'll go from there up. We're gonna try to stay in the range of 1,500 to 1,800 square feet.
So is that a 2, or is that a 3 or a 4-bedroom home?
They'll all be 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom homes?
It'll be a requirement in our requirement will be 3-bedroom home and everything.
So, I just wanna know about the park. $300,000 at 15 acres, that comes up to $20,000 an acre. Is that kind of steep? Is that kind of high? I don't know, I'm not a realtor. I'm asking a question. Do you know?
it depends on how you view it, yes.
Yeah.
It could be viewed as high,
Yeah,
it could be
'cause
viewed as
undeveloped
high.
land, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's, you know what I mean?
and then if you view it as what it's for and the benefit it's gonna present and the incentive that it drives, then the number looks more reasonable. So, Barry, it's really how you wanna look at it.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because we got so many parks in Boonville already, you know what I mean? Do we really want another park out that far, where kids travel that far out to go to the park? You know what I mean?
Well, we're gonna put a bucket load of kids out there. And I think that's probably the motivation.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, if you think of this as the first development of hopefully several developments out there, and as you continue to grow out there, that you would want to park sort of in that part of town as we continue to grow. And that could be over 100 years. I mean, it could be 50 years. So that's a long-term growth.
You were talking about phase 1 to out there by out there by the golf course and then the airport. Am I right in saying that? Mm-hmm. Then you're going to continue on. That's then phase 2 and phase 3. That's going to be before my life. Hopefully not after my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
So
it's going to be a while.
yeah, the full build out is approximately 20 years.
Yeah.
Good questions.
But okay, if we do decide to do this, will the people out there on Hunter Ridge and 98 have the capability of getting city services out there also?
They're not in the city, so.
They won't be annexed into the city at all.
Mm-mm.
So we're just gonna build around them?
Well, they're here and here. I mean, without a map, it's a little bit tricky, but no, I mean, yeah, they're not in the city limits. Now,
So,
Could they be sometime?
they could make a petition to annex, and that would be up to you guys to consider whether or not that was of value, yeah. I should have mentioned too, I apologize, I was making notes for myself. When a city considers an annexation, there's several key factors as to why you would annex in, and they relate to services and growth and all kinds of things. So at the public hearing, I will read through those documents so it will be in record, and then the reasons why it would qualify for the need. So you'll hear some more about that.
so can I ask some more question? Ask another question? Okay, we're talking about $1.2 to $1.5 million. That's for the city to annex this property in. Am I saying it right?
It's not just for the annexation,
Well,
but the number's right.
Yeah, the number's right. Where are we getting this money from?
So I kind of detailed in broad terms where the funding comes from. I think you have your American Rescue Plan funds, which are eligible for water and wastewater projects. So that's one of them. Sewer reserves can cover the cost. And then water can also, and then for the street improvements and those sort of things, I think you can look at gaming, you can look at CIP and parks and stormwater also for some of the other improvements. So, we have several buckets to choose from, but the water and sewer and the ARPA funds would pay for the bulk of the work, because that's mainly what we're looking at.
So are we gonna have enough money to do Fox Holler and Robinson at the same time at Robinson sign? 'Cause
We
he's
don't
about
have to pay anything for the Robinson sign.
Oh, okay.
So that's in exchange of the easement, they're gonna give us that sign.
Okay.
Good question.
Kate, do you have any idea of the allocation of funds for the ARPA local, ARPA county, and the sewer reserve?
So the city funds that we will get are 1.6 roughly. We've already received the first half of that. So if you remembered a couple weeks ago when we gave the balance on the 07 fund, which is capital projects, I think that's what it is, but it has $860,000 or so sitting in it. That's the first outlay of the ARPA funds. We'll get the second set, that second tranche, as they call it, in 12 months. The county, from what I understand, is going to make applications available, and we would request $500,000 from them.
Does that answer?
Yes,
Andrew?
thank you very much.
Okay. Steve?
I might be dreaming, but at one time I thought we had $1 million from the boat, some kind of fund. Is that no longer? That was
We
never?
bought the golf course with that, and that was
Okay.
the amphitheater fund. It bought the golf course
Yes.
and I think
Yeah.
the rescue truck, right?
Yep.
We closed it out.
Good memory. It was out there. Good for you. Any
So
other?
if we do not do this Fox Holler, can we still run water to the golf course?
We have to run water to the golf
So
course.
we're gonna still run water to the golf course?
That cost was never
Yeah,
tied
we
to
didn't put
Fox
that-
Hollow.
Yeah,
That
I
was
have pulled
that's separate.
that out of here because I don't want to confuse that. Has to be done, and we will do it regardless.
Okay.
Good question. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. Kate, what else you got?
That's it.
I have nothing this evening. City clerk?
Nothing.
Okay. Anybody have any miscellaneous? Susan?
I guess I'm passing on a comment from a citizen, a concern really about the pedestrian crosswalk on Spring Street down by the tourism. She's a couple of times anyway has encountered traffic coming east on Spring Street, not stopping when the lights are flashing in that crosswalk. I think it's more of an awareness thing to get people to slow down. She said she hasn't seen that problem with folks headed west and coming down, but they're coming down that steeper hill and
Right.
just don't stop. So I'm passing it on.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know what we could do different.
I don't know, you got the lights flashing.
Yeah. Wow.
I got one more question, Mr. Mayor.
Uh,
I'm trying to get my head wrapped around it. So if we do not pass this Fox Holler, or if we do pass it, will the taxes in the city have to go up if we don't pass it?
Our plan was that they would not. That's correct.
Not your property tax or your, I mean, you guys would, just like we've done this year, if you remember, we had a public hearing on that property tax, and no, there wouldn't be a plan to increase those taxes.
Steve, you got something?
No.
No, you had the look. You had the look. All right.
I got it. Okay.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Well, I was thinking about it.
Motion to go watch the Chiefs game?
We got a second? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? No, okay, thank you.